Where is it? Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America,
One nation.
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So, tonight, Avery has had something come up with his family, so she won't be here. And Lance has had something, so it's gonna be me and Wes present, and I believe Tom is on. So, where's Tom? Tom, you here?
I'm on. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can't see you, but we can hear you.
I'm in Long Beach, Washington.
Gee, Louise, you're just up the beach from our place.
I know it. I know it. We were down at Ilwaco today having a good time.
Yeah, you probably saw the flag when you went to Chinook, so. By the way, you
Yes.
may not know it, but we just had the presence of Mr. Hilliard just walked in.
Awesome. Awesome. Hi, Kurt.
The new version, relaxed and. Okay, I'll get back to order here. So I'm gonna call for a motion to approve the agenda with some revisions tonight.
So moved.
Tom?
Second.
Wes? Discussion, okay, so, recognition of visitors, excuse me, Cal. So the only thing we had come up is that based upon the fact that we've got so few members, and Tom, you're not present tonight, we're gonna move Cindy's presentation to the next meeting.
Okay.
But just so you know,
To
I
the,
did have it done. I just want you to know. I was done.
it's in there too, I don't really understand why you're here all.
No,
I'd like to propose a second provision.
Okay,
Uh. Section, what, 16? Section. No. The first reading policy and the policy approval section, I feel would be better served with a board, a full board in attendance.
I think that's,
Yeah.
I agree.
in discussion,
I'd
Tom,
like to move that.
Yep. I'm agreement.
Tom's in agreement, and I certainly, it is the time of year when people have lives.
Yeah, well, I don't want to be approving policy when we have two voices that are absent.
Okay. All right, so then, without any more discussion or any more changes? Anybody got? So then what I'm gonna do is call for a vote of the amended policy to remove
The agenda as revised.
the agenda as revised by moving the staff presentation, which included item B with the SIP plan to the next meeting, as well as the approval, first reading and approval of items 15 and 16.
And I think in the staff presentation, we should put suspected incomplete staff person.
Want to vote for it? No, and keep you along with some control chaos. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we have 100%, so. Okay, so this abbreviates, I'm already abbreviating the agenda, so, welcome visitors. So we've got Kurt's coming to visit tonight, which is great to see you. Yeah. Tell us all about home construction when we go.
I understand Kurt has brought in 5 approved grants already, and
it's a
All right, now, so we don't have anybody from a public comment, and I'm assuming Kurt, you just came here. No public comment, no student recognition. And now we're down here to item number 8, staff presentation. So, what do we have here? Jerry?
Yes, last board meeting, we have Liz Becky Nielsen, our school counselor, so she liked to introduce herself to you guys. So you can put a face to the name and just, introductions, because she does a lot for us, and hasn't been able to meet you guys yet, so.
So now, the time you'll spend here, you're not full-time, just a day a week or so, as I remember.
This year, 4 days a week.
4 days.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it's not here, coming here.
Yeah, last year it was.
That's great.
Okay.
I'm Becky Nelson. Rebecca is formal. I feel like I'm in trouble, but you're welcome to call me Rebecca. My friends call me Lex. I have 3 girls and a husband that's great with girls, so that's very helpful. He's the wife of the relationship. And yeah, I've been doing school counseling for 3 years. This will be my 4th year. And before that, I was a professional mountain climber and director of the Mountaineers, if you've heard
Oh,
of that. Yeah. And now I'm gonna do that for fun.
Hmm.
And yeah, any questions you have for me? I'm an open book, but only if you ask.
So now, are you in this Mason County area?
Yeah, we live in Shelton.
Oh, you do, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we lived closer to Seattle and Puyallup for, oh man, 6 or 7 years. Oh boy. And we moved, my husband grew up in Shelton. And so we moved next to his family. Built a home a few years ago and we love it. It's great.
Are you required to say that?
No, in fact,
I mean, that's the-
I cried for months when we decided we were gonna come. I was like, are we sure?
Yeah.
But we did feel it was the right choice and it took me like a good year to really see the good, but we really love it. I love it. I love the community. I love the area.
Eventually, because I came from Seattle,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Very
don't hold
good.
that against me, it was 20-something, it was like almost 27 years ago, right?
Yeah,
But eventually, that culture shock kind of turns into, oh, this is a better life.
Um,
And then when you go back to
absolutely.
Puyallup or Seattle, you go, how did I ever put up with that?
absolutely. I fully agree. You know, it wasn't until just a year or 2 ago that we have family visit us and like traffic never bothered me. And now I've noticed,
Yeah.
like, oh, I get it. Like I get what people say more about the traffic. I'm like, I don't like it. Oh, how was I okay with this, you know?
I'm the same way.
It's much slower pace, like quiet, peaceful, yeah.
So when you made reference to having been a mountain climber
Mhm.
in my past life, about 2010, I climbed Mount Baker with my 16-year-old, but I had 2 guides that had climbed it.
I love that.
There was a group called the Mountaineers. Was that the same in Bellingham?
It's like,
Yep,
so-
that's the same. So there's different like branches.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a Bellingham branch, yeah.
In the south, in the town.
Oh, I love that, yeah.
That's the thing, is we have so much in common. You're gonna be blown away by this. I've actually watched mountain climbing on a wintergreen gum.
Along the way.
All these connections. And then I walked to the
Oh,
fridge,
section.
got myself some junk food and
Oh, I love that.
to maintain, you know.
No, there's still junk food in mountain climbing. Don't get there.
Well,
Always bring Snicker
but
bars for like the Baker Summit or any summit.
It's disguised as really expensive mountain climbing.
Oh, that
You know,
was
you treat
fun.
this food, right?
You're gonna have to
So
look that
I
up.
do have a question about your position.
Yeah.
If I can, usually I don't talk to counselors while actually sitting up in a chair. Usually. And then if I'm not, wouldn't let me go to the. Anyway, you know, mental health is, to me, a huge crisis right now. You know, I see just people that are just, you know, just do not know how to act in society. And they just don't think that there's anything wrong. So I applaud, you know, the fact that we have somebody that can help, but take me through your duties and what are you planning on? I mean, what's the game plan, so to
Like
speak?
what's our goal,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
my goal? That's a really great question, and it's actually really important. I think there's, like, I break it up into 3 categories, I guess. And at the beginning of the year, work closely with Cindy to create like a counselor program. My goal this year, so breaking it down, right, so tier 1, all of the students, is really focusing on proactive approaches because mental health is really prominent, right? It is everywhere, at all ages. And so being able to get into the classrooms and teach skills that I know everybody can, like SEL skills, right? Similar, so I know the teachers are teaching Character Strong, which are social emotional learning.
That's a big deal.
Absolutely, which is great and done so well, I love it. But to be able to find through, it's called a needs assessment that all of the students will take, and we did that last year. That I'm able to identify what needs are in each class or kind of see the bigger needs in that class. And so the goal is to go into those classes and focus lessons on those specific topics.
Oh.
So that would be tier 1, right? So all of the classrooms. And then through needs assessment, as well as teachers support, I do small groups. And so that's like where you find bigger needs, where students have similar needs that are gonna need a little more attention than just in the classroom. Then we pull those students together and run, depending on the need, anywhere from a 4 to 6 or 8 week class program, where I pull them once a week. And we practice in a fun way, but really just do more counseling, more skill building.
Yeah.
With those students, hoping to see progress. And it was exciting. I felt like last year we had a lot of success with that. And then it like narrows down to the tier 3, you know, the more maybe there's students that, the higher need, whether it's emotionally or attendance or, you know, whatever that looks like, I'm able to put more focus on them, right? And sometimes it was multiple times a week, you know, I was only here for some days, so I would make sure, like I had a list of kids that I would for sure check on when I was here, with the goal that we could get to a point where I was no longer needed, right? Like they were fine.
Right, that's the ultimate goal, right?
Yeah, right, so it's very solution focused is my approach.
And then at what tier do, I don't mean to dominate your conversation, but at what tier are the parents brought in as a part of the program?
That's a great question. Hopefully through all of it. So at the beginning of the
Tier
year,
1 too.
yeah, absolutely. At the beginning of the year, I'll send an email just introducing who I am, letting them know that I'm in the classroom, that I'm available, I'm here, you know, these are my roles. Tier 2, anytime I do a small group, I always send, it's an opt-out email, right? So just, hey, this is what I'm doing. Your student is going to be a part of this group. If you're not wanting them to be a part of it, let me know. Otherwise, like, I'm here. Usually with tier 2, by then I've connected with the parents.
Questions for the parents and
The
stuff.
best I can,
Okay.
yes. Email is the best. Last year's tricky because I'm only here so many days, right? And we found that although I want a proactive approach, when you're only here so many days, it turns into reactive, right? If we're not careful balancing that.
It's like,
Yeah, so but yes, absolutely. I try my hardest to be available for parents. They'll usually leave a voicemail and sometimes we
right.
play phone tag for a while, but yeah.
Well, I think you already know what our civil culture is, and our culture has always been believing that the parents are part of the child's education.
Absolutely.
And we never want to separate them from, you know, what our view of education is. They're the family,
Yeah,
and they should be a big part of it, right?
of the team, absolutely.
So
I totally agree.
great, I'm glad you're on board.
No, thanks, I'm glad to be here, it's great.
You said that word character strong, and we're just getting, let's see, our first exposure was young lady's presentation, I can't remember her name. And we're excited about this. It's the way it was presented to us, even adult impactful, so.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. I'm a part of the conference in the next 2 days, so I'm excited to learn more about it.
So the lady with you tonight?
Yeah. And here?
Yeah, I'm going.
She's presenting.
Yeah, she's presenting. I'm gonna.
We had the talk about the conference. They were gonna try to get some kids there, but it didn't work out.
Yeah,
sometimes you're gonna get sometimes confused. Sometimes you remember and sometimes you don't. Okay.
I think I already have that. I know, it's like,
Can
yeah.
I say one thing?
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanna let you know that Rebecca is an amazing addition to our school. Historically, we've not had a counselor, and so that burden of either kids didn't get any help or it was falling on the classroom teacher and the principal to try to talk kids through their challenges and their problems, and there really was almost always reactionary and very rarely proactive like we have now. So not only do you could see her skill and confidence in communicating that plan, but she's just warm and fits with us, and I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, thank you. I'm really grateful to be here. It's a great school district, honestly. It's wonderful.
I think I found your first, your first challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a superintendent that's throwing screaming dates now. It's a good agenda. It's like.
I mean, think.
Back it up.
Okay, what does that say? What's this mean? So, okay, I'm gonna have to kind of say stuff.
So, Rebecca, pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
So we're gonna be down to item C, the archival program improvements, between Kimberly and Jerry.
Les,
Yes, sir.
can I just stop and Cindy real quick? Cindy, did you ever get the narrative stories behind these flags?
No, I reached out, but not yet.
Okay.
But I reached out that evening, but.
You're giving me a sad face. Here.
Well, you guys.
Okay, all right, well, just, you know, I would like to know,
I know.
and maybe I could just take pictures of them to Google. Right? I could probably do that.
They're how the kids landed on
Yeah.
voting for them, and so
I was interested to see how
Yeah.
that came about.
we've had some teachers on big trips, which is, I'm happy for them, but you know, they would check their.
Yeah, and all of us are here, yeah, anyway, okay.
What do you got going here on item C, Jerry?
So, couple years ago, it was clear to you, if you remember, but I applied for some large grants with the Secretary of State's office to get some resources together to hire people to go through our archives. Down below, there were boxes upon boxes upon boxes upon boxes of papers, and they were generally in an organized fashion, but it just kept growing, which is kind of common among schools, that they just keep adding and rarely go through, so, and purge stuff. We had a little, some resources that put together. I asked Kimberly, to lead that. And she did a masterful job, and they got the work done, and what got done, I expect to go take 2 or 3 years. And they got it done in a couple of weeks because of her intense organization and understanding of the plan. When you walk down the hall, if you look straight out, you'll see 3 pallets of boxes that we are able to purge because of her hard work. So I think I'm doing your whole presentation.
No, that's okay, keep going.
I'm really excited about it and how good.
What's the great segment?
First down.
Can you go to
How about it?
I'd be happy to. Yes, Jerry and Andrea came to me. I created a large comprehensive directory for our policies. And still fine tuning that, but I think it was because of that Andrea came and said, hey, we've got another huge project for you. What do you think about this? And so we went downstairs, and originally I walked in with the ew, oh, wow, just amazing. In not a great way, but we took pictures, and we counted well over 300 boxes of archives. And I wish Jerry would have taken the before, because it was just overwhelming, absolutely overwhelming. And Jerry kept finding new doors to open. Hey, did you look in this closet? And I was like, no, there's more and more and more. So I dug deep and dove into the project happily. And I went from ooh to ah because picking a new girl for this kind of a project was the right approach, I would have to say. And I can't thank you enough because it gave me historical roots into a new place. So, and as a matter of fact, if you would check out the chair next to you underneath, I'll tell you what I'm talking about. There's a little treat for you guys to look at.
This is, yes.
Yes. Oh, boy.
Very fun history. So diving into this, I needed to identify what qualified for shred, what qualified for retention, 100-year retention. And in cooperation with state archives as well as Secretary of State, I took a two-day training course on archives and disposition numbers, you name it. But when I dove a little deeper in the basement, I was so pleasantly surprised. And it was a precious note to a really, what some would say is a yucky project. So it took the yuckiness away, opening things like this, where it says Detroit School District. Just a few of you, I think you're looking at things from 1920. And the drawer actually reads 1898. And when I finally made my way to this drawer and looked down and saw that, it was like, is this for real? Does this really go back this far?
I see from 8 to 9, there's opening exercises. From 10 to 11, install passenger seats into a Ford Model T in Detroit.
Is it?
But no, it's really interesting. It reminds me of my old day plan, except minus exercise. But this is really neat.
Very neat. So
We should find some way of like.
historically preserving, that's my, I went in like a bull and wanted to just purge. But when I started to discover these things, I don't want to send these types of things to state archives. I would rather them stay in-house and
So I'm excited about this. So I used to own a company that was started at the turn of the century. And bought it when I was 20, right? And we were pulling furnaces out of places that, had our name emblazoned into these big steel doors. Had our phone number, which was like, Sunset 7878, back, 1920s, right? And so that's really real history.
absolutely.
And just things were done so differently.
Yes.
So in
That is so cool.
1922, September 8th, Millie Lockenheck was an attendant in the school.
Really?
Older sister. And I'm looking for my dad, he would have attended, well, okay, it ends, this one ends, but he would have attended in 1922, let's say.
No. Really?
Yeah.
1920.
I think we should try to find lessons from them.
Okay.
You put something in my face. Anyway, that's, and then.
That's really cool.
Absolutely.
My dad's other sister married Ted Rusher, they were both Brian and Ted, in that Austin, so.
How fun. Yes.
Yeah, we're taking away your.
No, that's quite all right. I love this. It was wonderful to open these books and see, a class of 5 and have a big, huge slate that says influenza epidemic, everybody was absent for so long, but a very precious portion of this project. And I had to just pause the brakes because I originally came in wanting to make a huge impact and discovered such a treat. So we counted over 300 boxes downstairs, and they had been, and you could recognize according to the years, they had been purging here and there. However, there was a massive amount that qualified for shred. So we identified, I had a helper, still do have a helper, Heather, she took your pictures. We came across boxes of microfiche. And she didn't even know what that was. She held up a little side, what's this? It's like, really? You have to ask. But-
Makes us feel,
You guys get a reader or?
We, Jerry authorized the purchase of a scanner and we haven't even gotten to the scan portion. I wanted to make a huge impact. So what I did is I utilized AI and I had to strategize. How fast and large of an impact can we make? He was on vacation and I wanted wow factor when he came back. So 300 plus boxes. We identified 132 boxes that we went through, stripped of all metal, paper clips, binder clips, old fashioned file cabinets with the arms, the metal arms, had to strip everything of the metal. And we were able to identify a huge amount, and we are still identifying a huge amount for shred, and that is coming up. But I put in the project into AI and said, how fast can we create this? And I linked the Secretary of State disposition numbers as they are relative to a public school. And so we were able to quickly identify the boxes that qualified for shred and move from there. So utilize those tools, created a strategic plan and just went for it. So like Jerry said, out in the hallway, right out in the commons, you'll see, I think it's 4 pallets and over 100 boxes that we will have picked up and shredded in the next
Can I-
week. Yes.
can I go back?
Yeah, you bet.
For that, there's at the bottom, it says 0 sensitive files or district records were processed or read by AI. How did you prevent that? How did you mitigate that?
The only source that I put in for AI was the Secretary of State, guidance on archives. And what I use AI for is a strategy, how to approach a project. And it wasn't about scanning information into AI. It was me having a discussion with AI. I went to advanced class on how to learn AI prompting, a 2-week course. So I went in and said, here's my project. Here's a source, Secretary of State. Here's our school policies.
Which more like guidance that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just out of curiosity, what was the AI tool that you used?
Google Notebook.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it reads directly from sources that you feed it.
Yeah.
You don't rely on it to go out and scrape data from just the general brain of AI. So
Nice.
that's nice. Yeah. Okay, so moving on, I think we've already talked about it, but just synchronizing our cleanup with the state guidance. I reached out to our archival specialist at the Secretary of State, Evan, really great guy, because this is something that's intimidating. Getting rid of important documents is intimidating, and I could see why our basement became so full, because it just is. You want to hang on, you want to hoard and play it safe. However, by doing that, we're actually vulnerable to litigation. It's just as important to purge the data as it is to keep the data, because if it is still in-house, well after disposition, then we're vulnerable to discovery. You got it. Thank you. So we talked about the 3-step trail, getting rid of the metal, registering the DAN, that's the disposition numbers that the Secretary of State provides us, and labeling everything, getting it ready to head out. These are examples of 6-year retention, which was really easy to identify. We had AP files, payroll files, that I was able to just go in this massive room of boxes, and all of them are labeled with the years. And I was able to X them out, and then we had to open them up, audit them, make sure that nothing else important was stuck in those boxes. It was a large process, but a fast one, the way we took it on. So yes, we have 100 boxes and we are ready to get rid of them, over 100 boxes. Something to note is I utilized, yes.
Did some get bumped out?
I think so. You could log it in.
Thank you for that. Tom, you're back? I hope so. Tom, can you hear us?
Tom, do you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, look like you got bumped out, we had to readmit you.
He's back.
Okay, good.
All right, thank you for that, Jerry. So one other thing to note, in my prior district, it was required that we utilize DES, Department of Enterprise Services, for our state contracts, and we were receiving bids for shredding, through waste management and other areas that range from 1,400. So we instead utilized the state contract DES, and we were able to go from a $1,600 bid to $580. We are going to get rid of 100 boxes for $580, at the end of this month, on the 30th. So it's my goal to work with Jennifer because she's got a great background in archival procedures, and a lot of school districts are going paper free. So I'm going to work with Jennifer and hopefully reduce the need to put another box downstairs. That's the vision. And I think that is it. You guys have any questions?
So is this something, is it in a scanned form that is readable via one of the platforms?
What we are doing, we haven't moved on to the scan. We started doing some scanning, but it was more important to purge as much as possible that we do not need to scan. These are files that are well past disposition. There are certain files that have 100-year disposition where we will be scanning them. We will be moving them out of our basement to state archives. However, they'll be readily accessible when we get a records request. And that's the next phase of getting everything recorded. We started the scanning, but gotta turn the little papers over and file them with a good naming system.
What kind of files have a 100-year disposition?
Believe it or not, board governance, everything you're saying right now. In 100 years, people are going to read and listen to. They're gonna look at this little Zoom thing and say, what's that?
Does he hate that right dog guy so much?
Okay.
All right, so,
So
did you guys have any questions
but this
besides
is,
that?
this is an ongoing project, or are you claiming victory?
I am claiming half victory. It is an ongoing project, but we're going to fine tune so that, like I said, at the end of this next school year, we're going to avoid putting boxes downstairs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a multi-year project. This time we were purging and organizing. Next phase will be scanning electronic, and then there'll be some parts that you do with the archives.
You got it.
Yes.
It is ironic in my past life, when the refinery was built in 71, everything, all the designs, all of the vendor data was in a microfilm. And we had a reader when we would go through it, we had to work on a piece of it. And it was a archaic, or very effective. We were able to retrieve or store it not in boxes, but in trays. So
Right.
this is the next level. This is
We had that for,
Okay,
respect.
I'm gonna move on then. We got announcements. It looks like item number 9.
That's impressive, by the way. I think we should remark.
So August 21, 22, looks like we have some development days, 21 through 24. Open house, which is, they must be beginning of school year open house. And then next board meeting is the 26th. First day of school, August 26th. Kindergarten, 12 and 20. Okay.
I will probably be absent on the 26th because my 26th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
And so if I told my wife that I was going to a board meeting, then we'd go to Taco Bell afterwards.
Would be on.
It's a meeting on that end, sorry.
Okay. So we're down to, yeah, so noted,
Okay.
so noted, that'll get caught in minutes. Consent agenda, I'd like a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Wes,
Second.
hard for me to. Anyway, discussion, so anything here jump out at us,
Oh,
general funds,
yeah, I was gonna ask about the old Hickory Did we put a shed up or something?
We're done, yeah.
Oh, we're going to.
I have it in my notes, but
Oh, you
we're
do?
purchasing one, yeah.
Great.
I'll explain why we're doing what we're doing.
Okay, all right. That's the only question I have.
What jumps out here is the voids.
So it's actually not a result of an error on our part. The county treasurer did not report one of our checks as positive pay, so a check was returned. And that was on the county. The county notified us after they received it returned. That it was an error. It had to do with vacation timing for them the first week of July. Somebody didn't get on our. Because they didn't get our vouchers uploaded into positive pay and transactions rejected.
Hey, you always say positive, but never negative.
Yeah. But it's actually, it'll be part of it in the captured in the reissue, so.
Yeah.
It was waited.
Tom, Wes, any more discussion, any questions?
No,
Wes, you okay? I'm gonna call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
aye.
80%, three of us, okay. So now we're down to the nitty gritty. Principal and superintendent report, Jerry.
All right, so the summer has been working hard. We got that middle school painted and it looks excellent. They did very detailed work. They were back there sanding and replacing rotten stuff on the back. And I saw the guy in the sun out there with the sander sanding those areas that were in bad shape on the back. And encourage you to go out there. Same color, so it doesn't seem obvious, but when you start looking at it, they did a very good job and it'll last us a nice long time. So I was real happy with that. We had some hazardous trees that were leaning out over the road, and so we brought in a tree guy to come and look at those. He took those out, and then a few others that were needed to come down. So that's about safety and maintaining our grounds well. Most of the playground structure is in on the grant that Cindy got. There's still the track that will be track. It won't be, the high-end rubber track. It's more of a wide walking path that will go around the football field so that we can, in the winter, kids can be out there and staff and students can walk around and it'll enhance our ability for when track season comes to do a myriad of different things that we haven't been able to. It's basically a rock pathway, but it's a start. And there's the Gaga Ball pit will be coming along soon in the next couple of weeks, but the playground is mostly done.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, we've been talking about putting a track in since I was first appointed to the board. So that's a 14 year, something like that. And so it's kind of nice to actually see something come to fruition, even if it's not exactly what we want, it's something.
Yeah, it'll be a start, and I know when Nikki was at Hood Canal, they had kind of a gravelly kind of rock path track. And then eventually they were able to find a grant and some extra money and actually put down a track. So eventually we could get there. We'll just keep watching for the resources to see if we can make that happen. Record retention,
Kirk can find it.
As a community member, we're gonna task you with finding us track money.
There you go. Kirk can pinch 2 pennies together and get a nickel.
So the record retention, Heather did a big part of it, and Tony was a big support too, that he had to, he just kind of unsung, but he's the one that's pulling that stuff up and out, and part of, there's the whole records part of it, but there's also, we're running out of storage space, you need to make space, and so.
Was this the area that was over there on there with the new,
Yeah,
it was on there, down below there?
Yeah, down below. And so now what that's doing is that's buying some space for Tony to store things that he needs to, when furniture needs to be moved somewhere and somebody doesn't want this, or we have that, and they have extra chairs and various things. So now he'll have some more space down there to store some of the things he did. And so as far as the shed, now what we decided to do is buy an additional storage shed for our arts material. Because what we were often finding is that stuff would get stuck down there, or various places where you could find a nook to send stuff for the arts, and so it was all over everywhere. So I kind of I put some boundaries around arts. And where there's store things. She has 2 classrooms, she has a music classroom, she has an art classroom where she can store those things, and the extra things will go in the art shed. And where she and children and her volunteers can access because they couldn't get down there before. And so we'll just put some boundaries around it. If you can't store it in those places, you can't keep it. Right, and so I think that will help Tony and it'll help her. And the kids have access to their art products and things that they need for plays and instruments and etc.
So is there any worry about about breakdowns or vandalism or anything?
No, we have several art, or we have a couple of storage where the PTA has a storage and our emergency supplies are also in a similar shed. And we've never had any problem, so.
This will be like a tough shed.
It's exactly like the ones you see out there, except for it'll be behind the art building, so she can access it more easily. So that she has a little more control over access of and going in the trail, so.
Okay.
I'm pleased with that option for her and Tony buys us more storage space for other things. This last week, we had it's called a BCA building condition assessment, and so the state has a big database called ICOS, right, where they have an inventory of all the structures on all the school districts in the state of Washington, and their idea is that they would every 7 years, school would conduct a BCA where they would have somebody come and evaluate your building, you know, the plumbing, the electrical, the roofing, and all those things, right? And so, so we haven't had ours done in quite a while, and their old system, the school would apply for the money and then find somebody to do it, right? Well, people weren't doing it, right? So, what they've done is the state is contracted with an architect and an engineering firm to go around and do those without. And so they called me and we had them in last week. Great guys, Tony followed them around and learning all kinds of stuff about our school and things we can work on, and they're entering that data into the ICOS system so that they have a rating on our building, and those are influenced when you look for grants and things on, that just happened this week. We look forward to using that data to work to prioritize projects for around the building. So that's what happened this week. Tech updates, we've made some purchases, but we have Chromebooks and Wi-Fi and a new server and switches where we got some federal assistance with that, but those are still in progress.
You know, in the approval packet, don't we have some archival Chromebooks that were endorsed?
Yes.
At the board level?
Yeah.
And once we endorse that, where do all those Chromes, do those compute?
There's a real process for,
They go someplace for reclamation works.
we have to make them available to other districts and then the community and then surplus and then mostly what you end up with is get stuff with them because nobody wants them. So. So a curious thing I'd like to let you know, I'm gonna tell you about it, might get some interesting responses from staff. There's a curious thing of teachers, they are turning the lights down in the classrooms very low. And it's not here, it's at other schools to try to help kids be calm, but discovered that there's actually state laws around light levels in schools. And so, so that's something that I'm gonna be addressing this year, that we need to not have black classrooms that you can hardly see in. We have people with vision impairments who can't function in there. And the kids might be calmer, it's hard to know, but we're not gonna be data on that, so we're gonna be, we have a light meter, we'll be kind of going around and pushing back on some of these classrooms that you can hardly see, you know, they have things covered and office spaces and similar, so that's something I never thought I would work on, but it's on
It is the most important priority of our time.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's actually, I kind of think of it as a safety thing and
Yes,
it's
it's-
just for kids, so
It is,
I'm gonna push back on staff.
I'm not sure how society survived without a law about light levels.
Yes,
in
yes.
schools.
Well, the law,
Thank goodness, finally.
the law has existed for decades, but it's only recently that teachers have decided that they like their classrooms very dark. Yeah.
She was.
Yeah, so the risk pool, I told you I went to that conference, they sponsored me to go to their conference, which was fascinating to be a part of. I didn't know that there was this massive, giant, probably $1 billion industry in the United States that dealt with risk and risk management and risk avoidance and complaints or compensation for people that are injured, et cetera. So that was interesting. And through that, the director of a risk management pool was interested in me being on their board as a small school representative. So I turned in some letter of interest on that. So I may be represented as a small school rep in our risk management pool for the state of Washington. There's only 2 insurers in Washington State because no insurance companies want to work in Washington State because of the extreme risk that they face based on the way the laws are written in Washington State. When I was at the conference, I got, I'm a chatty guy, I was visiting with various people, and I learned that other states think of us at Washington as an insurance hellhole. Yeah, because, and actually what it does is it drives up their insurance because of the reinsurance. So we have our risk pools, and then our risk pool and clear risk go to get reinsurance from other larger organizations that are nationwide. And so we are driving up the cost of insurance in other states as well because of the reinsurance market and the vulnerabilities they have. So that was a fascinating thing for me that I'll be sharing with my legislators and its impact. We'll see if they listen. They hear me, but I don't know if they can. They just not. Ours are very pro advocate here.
I mean, they're in the minority.
I'm talking about my own Olympia. I have 2 sets. I go up to the Olympia people and then talk to our guys too. So anyway, that's in my.
So I want to make a comment. Today's a 93-degree day, 92-ish, depending on who's the monitor. I think Kurt and you and Tracy started the grant.
Thank you. Yeah.
You got a grant. We executed it and finished it with Sherry and Tracy and actually and here we are, the fruits of the labor today.
We're not sweating because of him.
Yeah. We would have had this door open multiple times. We remember.
I always felt guilty that we had air conditioning on this side and nobody else did.
So weird.
This is pretty
I would have
amazing.
zoomed in for my air conditioning house.
Yeah. Okay, so, Jerry, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about student voice for our character strong presentation and how we were going to bring that to our presentation without being allowed to bring the kids. So I promised, I forget if it was Wes or Tom asked to see those interviews. Since I'm not doing the data presentation that was completed and that was ready to go, I thought that I would just share a couple slides from our presentation that we're doing tomorrow with you guys. You can hear the kids. I think it will be great. So if you go to the first.
Hear this and do this?
Mhm.
Okay.
So if you go to slideshow on the far right. And then all the way back to the beginning. Okay, I won't go through the entire presentation, but if you want to go through the slides real quick, Kimberly, pretty please. Go in.
There's a number of teams.
Yeah. We put our team on there, you could keep going. Keep going. All right, we have some pictures, I think it's the next slide. Yes, okay, you should just be able to click on it. It's too low. I don't know where the long, I feel like it came out of this one.
Mine's maxed.
All right. Might blow your hair back, but
Because
okay.
at first I didn't want to even go on stage or do anything like that. The motivation. It was like, on the first day, I didn't do anything. I didn't decide to next day I was really good doing things. Well, you need creativity, especially for having a team, and you need to have, people that can all work together and make it so you can be in the middle and do something creative together. And wherefore you need courage because you're going in front of like hundreds of people. So you need to make sure that you can be helpful as time as you're doing it. Especially when somebody needs help with the microphone, you can take that place for them. And then responsibility, like if somebody forgot something in class, you can get it for them. And also, if somebody goes off script, you can ask them if they need help and I'm responsible for them, like with them.
That kid's a future business broker.
And he was the one that really, if people got stuck in deer in the headlights, they would just
So
hand
I
the mic to them.
I'm social and like,
Uh-oh.
I apologize.
kind of like caught my bubble of just being a little bit quieter.
There we go.
So I got a little bit more social and like, kind of like caught my bubble of just being a little bit quieter. And then, I looked out for my surroundings about more and then, helped them someone if they were hurt, like my brothers. And, yeah.
So the mom that was there said how true. She said, after he said all that, she's like, I've noticed you've been a lot kinder, more with your brothers, you know, so. That's good. Was
I
that the
think
third
it's
one?
terrible that they
That was
didn't.
it. There was another one. Yeah, and these are short.
Oh, yeah, so really fun, I would definitely choose that if you have an option of doing it. And it's like being confident, when you walk on the stage, you're confident of having people watch you and having it so you're also persevering through the assemblies and not giving up through everything. So you can also have responsibility for them. And if somebody needs help, you can help them, and especially when you do leadership, it makes it so you're like more confident in life. I'd say to like, instead of working one by one, to work as all as a group and to make good decisions and to work hard. My favorite character is empathy because every time Marie would feel bad about herself, I would always go up there and like help her feel not as bad about her voice. She doesn't like her voice. So there was a lot of mess ups in like the posters and skits and the videos, but as it went to all actually work as a group, we fixed all of those mess ups, and then they were like back to being normal and being good.
Yeah.
Could you go to your team, go slide again, just the team, your team slide?
Yeah.
You and.
Yeah, could you do one thing before?
Oh, okay.
No, it's okay. Just go to the next slide. It's only 5 seconds.
Oh.
But if you didn't get to come to an assembly, we just wanted
This
to
is
show you.
on.
So the gator is here.
That's all we did.
Area.
I agree.
This is what Tom experienced. Okay. That's what you talked about.
That's amazing.
Your team slide, I was very interested in.
I think you're thinking of Miss Murphy and we're all blonde, so that doesn't help you at all,
Okay, so
but
Andrea, okay, she's, okay.
Yeah.
What is it, so the three of you now going where tomorrow?
the national conference in Tacoma,
Oh, it's in Tacoma.
and we're presenting,
Sure.
yeah. So, and then, 4 others.
Yeah, you were going to take the kids, and then you weren't allowed to for.
Well, Wes brought it up, that would be cool if that was an option, but there's so many logistical, pieces, but
There are thousands of people in the
yeah,
organization.
yeah.
Wow. This is, being on the outside looking in, I don't know enough not to know, but it certainly is a good feeling. Good feeling, so, your credit.
All right.
You let that one kid know that when he's out of high school, he should apply at my company.
Which one?
We'll make him a sales
The
guy.
guy with the glasses or the young man?
Both, I mean, gee whiz, they are.
And I wish you could see them before, like, these are not the kids that would normally sign up for leadership. It's yeah, without getting too personal, it's just amazing. All right, the last thing is a good thing. I just actually found this out today. And I figured you guys would want to see this. So this is our attendance information. OSPI gives us like little snippets of what will be on our state report card. But this is our attendance improvement. It gives you the historical view, but last year we went from 24-25 to 71.95% attendance to 80.95% attendance, and that's the best we've had since 21-22.
It really, historic, when Josie Bean was heading
Right.
job. I mean, this was like her attitude, whether we giving her, it can make an impact on their life, and it was like I said, I remember that slide in the growing 98%, and then the 92, then the 61%, that's COVID. Okay, and it's just, I'm fascinated by this. I just don't, I see the curve, the trend of the curve, I'm fascinated.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that's a good number statewide. It's not where we want it, but I mean, there were hard things that had to happen.
What's statewide?
For this last year, I don't have that statewide number yet. They haven't published it yet.
What was it for the previous year? Oh, okay.
I can look.
Never mind.
I
No,
don't know.
you don't need to.
It was surprisingly, I mean, it was like our worst year.
But like the 1920, I mean, everybody was at home.
Yeah, and what the
So-
students are.
What I wonder about is where were the 2%? You know, I mean, you're at home, right? So, but the following year, the 2021, 92%, they're probably just, parents were like, get out of the house, right? Yeah. But then the 61, what the heck happened there?
Yeah.
So anyway, this is a good number.
It's a
That's for now.
It's staggering, though, again.
It shows in the right direction.
So, I mean, the naive, have to ask these naive questions. If they're not here to school, what the hell are they doing? We're talking K through
Well, there's so much to do in Grapeview. You know,
That's what I just, that's the.
Sometimes it's a family thing where there's so many different factors. That's why having Becky here
Yeah.
to make initial contact to figure out what the barriers are is important. So we unfortunately had to take some families to truancy court. That hasn't been done
oh,
in over 10 years here. So I had to fill out court paperwork but
Wow.
we mean business when it comes to getting your kid to school. So,
Okay.
Yeah, and Teresa too is gonna be part of that.
I'm sure you don't think this is a,
No, I don't.
I get it, it's just fascinating. Sometimes the data, I wanna be data rich and information poor, I feel like I'm data rich in the space that I have information for. Okay, thank you, Cindy, that was awesome. Okay, so now, Jennifer, we're down to operational budget services.
Well, we can go through, I'm not sure how you guys usually go through this report, so we're just gonna run through it, stop me if you have questions, I love questions, one of my favorite things about my job, so, one of the things that we did, you notice that you got this budget status report that looks very different, I believe this should have gone out, right? This is actually required to be sent to you, this is a non-manipulated report. So it's required for us to send this out of our system in this format, because it's not manipulated, So, it looks different probably than what you've possibly seen in the past, but that's what it is. If you have any questions about it, I'm happy to go over with you, but it's got like our previous, or it's got our annual budget, our actual for the month and our actual for the year, and then what's called our encumbrances, which are our obligations we still have outstanding. I've had the state review all this because this is a transition month for us. As you know, we've gone from Skywork to cumulative. So I've been working with them all week to try and make sure all these things are in line. It's been a long couple weeks getting reports and extracting things. So, slide one, enrollment. We didn't have a big change from last month, but actually I don't believe changed at all for our enrollment. I know that somebody asked, I believe Edry asked last month, but we did not have any change between our May number and our June 1 number. So as far as what was at year end, I would have to pull out that report and look at that from what Teresa did. And that was all in process. So our enrollment has stayed consistent and steady, which we're very fortunate, because that's what pushes our budget numbers and our working. Next slide. This is our general revenue fund and expenditures. This is our what came in, what went out, what our budget was, and where we're at and what the difference is. So we've had a lot more revenues come in. I'd like to point this out when we start looking at budget for next year, and if we have a need for any sort of additional budget, I call them extensions. I want you to take a look that you spent 161,000 more it had in expenditures, but you had 181,000 or 188,000 in revenues come in. So you've had more come in than went out in that overshort, but a lot of that is because of the hard work Jerry does and the team does and getting grants that come in. So that's something to really be proud of and really highlight. So
When these grants, this takes pressure off the operational budget already.
it does, but when we do budget, we don't budget unless they're contracted and obligated, at least, that's how I don't budget with the assumption that I'm gonna get funding. I tend to budget more conservatively with what I know I'm gonna get. So as we move through years, if we continue to be as fortunate we are and continue to get grants, there could be times where we come to you with asking for expansion on our budget to spend because we'll be getting more. So,
And money like safety net, that was a good chunk of money also, so it's not certain.
So, all exciting things. This is our general fund expenditures, that you have see our budget amount there, our June amount, which is a little bit, elevated, I would say, than what was, but not much, I wanna say just by maybe 30,000. Just because of the push at the end of May to get things, and the bills came due in June. That's kind of what happened for that. Our encumbrances there, that includes all of our salaries for the next 2 months, for July and for August. So right now we have a little bit of a cushion, so. Next slide. So this is, I believe you guys are familiar with this slide. I apologize, I copied and literally went with what you guys are used to seeing from Andrea. I'll probably change things up as we move through this process to things that I think fit better. But this has our minimum reserve, our TK carryover. You'll see these numbers stay consistent for next month, and then in September, these will all shift a little based on what our new budget is. So, right now, we have our general fund, I think is at 358,800, so almost 359,000 is what's in our unreserved budget right. Okay, ending fund balance right now, we have a projection of the 892, 643, 71, which is based on what we should have at the end after we get our money in, and our money goes out over the next 2 months. I don't expect significant changes in that unless we come up with something fantastic we want to spend on. However, we can't spend on it because we don't currently have authority to go into that. So I am expecting it to land right around that number for year end. Questions? Yeah, painting, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because that's actually in our estimate, so. Yep. These are our other fund balances, capital projects, debt service, ASB, transportation. You're gonna notice that there aren't a lot, especially transportation, there's not any expenditures, there's not a big difference from last month. ASB has a little bit of, adjustments for this year in our balance, but it's pretty small and insignificant. Capital projects, the same, you're not gonna see a big difference in either of those. Debt service, we only make payments twice a year, so you're not gonna see those fund balances throughout the months change other than interest that we're getting in on the bank account. Updates. I believe you all got an email from our state auditor. Our audit has been completed and our exit conference took place on July 16th. The report is probably gonna be published this week. We didn't have any items to report? No findings. Clean bill of health. We have our estimates for our next audit. I wanna say it's around $10,000 what they're anticipating our cost to be. So we'll need to make sure those get in the budget for that year, I believe it's 8. Our next audit will be in, but yeah.
So at the end of that, I asked them to say a sentence
Yes,
summarizing that, what was the first?
we had a clean audit.
Clean it, I'd say, okay, you said all these things.
Yeah.
So
Well, no findings is kind
clean
of,
up.
Yeah, no finding, nothing, no, we don't have any significant differences on our financial statements over the course of those 3 years, so. We're in a good position as far as state auditor's office is concerned.
they didn't complain about the board retreat in Hawaii.
No, but they only look tough on the top, like,
Based on the business.
yeah,
Alright.
Your character's strong.
yes, very much.
Yeah.
But if you have any questions about that, that report will be available to the public and it'll be published on the state's website. If you're not familiar and haven't used what's called their FIT tool, I suggest you go out there and try it. It's on SAO's website. It gives you an idea of where our money's going. Not that you guys don't see it every month, but it is also an opportunity to compare us to other districts our size, and see how we compare to them. So if you love to give a lesson on it, it's a fun tool. So it's something the state auditors put out, so. Open to the public for all entities, school districts, fire departments, and government related.
Any words of wisdom, Bob?
Is it still on?
Hope you still on.
Okay.
This is the first couple more.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, Wes, we're good to go?
Yep.
Okay, let's move with it, and by the way, Jennifer,
Sorry.
so you say you had a little bit of visiting help from Tracy this last.
I did, it's been great, she popped in to see how I was doing, so it's been fantastic, so.
It's awesome news.
Yeah, the unfortunate part is though that we're in a totally new software system, so even if I wanted help with that, I gotta struggle through those things on my own, so.
All right, so we got item 13 under new business and or action items. So what do we have here? Approved resolution 722.26. So I get it. I need to ask for approval of resolution 722.26.8 designation of auditing officers.
Yes, I'm
Second.
Discussion. So this is in reality, Jerry, to bring her on with the real red checks and stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, we had some paperwork here, didn't we? That we had.
There's a resolution, yes, it's probably in here,
Okay.
yes.
So, and at the same time, approve resolution 7.2226.B, authorization to invest funds under the same motion for approval.
I think.
So moved.
You winners, if I can't be efficient here.
Well, I think in policies. you
Okay,
can- you
then
can-
I'll call for a vote on 7.2226A. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, less than 100%. Okay, now I ask for a motion to approve
So moved.
7.2226B, authorization to invest funds. Tom?
So moved.
Well,
Second.
discussion?
No.
Where are the funds being invested?
Here with the county treasurer's office. So
And is
this,
that the only place?
historically, that's the only thing we've ever invested in, so, I
We
mean,
get our like 1% interest and or whatever.
I can't complain. I mean, I think they do a good job. I used to work with counties.
I'm not-
Trust, yeah, I trust that,
I'm
but,
just saying that the interest rates right
Yeah.
on the CD are like 5.
right, I mean, yeah,
But I don't say for the better, right?
yeah.
So, I was just curious. Out of any,
And just for clarification, Les, it's not for my ability to write checks, it's just for designated authority on the checking account as well as invest and move funds.
oh, you better unwind that then.
So stand corrected.
I just wanna make sure that
Stand corrected.
yeah, that part's understood, so.
All right.
I don't know.
Discussion, any more discussion on resolution 7.226B?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna ask for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, 100%. Okay. The next one, I need a resolution to approve 7.2226C, technology surplus.
So moved.
Wes,
Second.
discussion? Now, this is all I noticed, and my gosh, there was 4 or 5 pages of all Chromebooks and that'll all be out for surplus.
Obviously, yeah, we get stuff for every kid. And they go through it quickly and they have dates where they become obsolete. And so it's kind of convenient. They have a constant market of purchasing new phone books.
So now have we upgraded and replaced with it?
Yes,
You mean convenient for
yes,
Google?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're keeping up. We ordered a bunch. We have a line over a couple of years in which we will maintain our status as having our account.
Is that within our state funding or again our levy?
Yes. That kind of pull together a general fund.
Have we investigated if there's any better platform that, doesn't have built-in obsolescence that, so soon after we get them? I mean,
A lot of the obsolescence, it evolves around our ability to use them to assess students and the security measures that the state has. Some of them are still usable in more rudimentary ways, so as they become obsolete in terms of their ability to be used for assessments, we replace those for the kids that are being assessed and then we move them down to the little kids. So because then they can do more basic actions with
like
them.
educational games or anything like that.
Typing or, right, all those kind of things, and then we
Surplus.
them as they become even more obsolete, so we do our best to try to get the life out of them that we can.
All right.
Okay, with no more discussion, I'm gonna call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
100% with us. Okay. All right, now we're down to item 14, Tom, which is old business and or action items, legislative update.
It's a quiet time for the legislature. There's a whole lot of politics going on around the initiative to overrule the legislature's plan to install the income tax for the billionaires, and just a lot of politics, a lot of stuff talking back and forth. And on another note, we've got the General Assembly coming up for WASDA for the school directors in first part of September. I'll be bringing some information to the board next month about that. And other than that, I don't have anything else to report. Thanks.
Okay, Tom, thank you. Les, anything?
On legislative.
Well, I get it with Tom before.
No, I just, I just think it's naive to think that the state is hiring nearly 400 revenue agents just for millionaires. Right? I think all of us are gonna be subject to it within 1 or 2 years. And there's significant capital flight happening, and I'm in the industry that will see that, and I'm seeing. And so short term, it's good for me, long term, not so great for the state. So yeah, but I'm glad that it's a quiet time for the legislature, because when they are in full swing and Tom gives his report, I can actually watch my blood sugars start like climbing.
All right,
Anyway,
all right, Tom, thank you. So we've dismissed till the next meeting with items 15 and 16. Down to item 17, which will be the next board meeting, is the 26th of August. Any other agenda type of items for that meeting, Jerry? I'm sure you'll be coming up with some. Obviously, we're gonna have a full slate of, will you just add these on and not double up on us in the approval?
Yeah, next week we'll have 40 or whatever. No, we'll just push it back.
Well, I tell you what, then I'm just gonna move down to item number 18 and board superintendent questions. Tom, I'll start with you.
It's exciting to Zoom in to a board meeting and participate. I'm a little detached, but other than that, I thought it was a good meeting. I like the information that came out on the archives and the history, and I'm thinking very positively for.
All right, Tom, is that it?
Apparently.
He just dropped
He
one.
did.
It's
So Wes,
oh. So, if anybody's thinking about an anniversary gift for my wife and I, the 26th wedding anniversary gift is original art. So, just think about that, and I expect some high-end stuff. One thing is I'm incredibly proud of this school, from where, you know, I first got on the board to where we are now. It's just such a cohesive team. The staff, and you know, just the staff and students are just really incredible. And you know, when people find out I'm on the board, they're like, oh, what a great school. Well, that has nothing to do with me, right? It has everything to do with the people that work here and run the school, you know, and every once in a while, like Board Appreciation Day, we'll get cards from kids. Thank you so much for running the school. And I always write them the note back. I don't do that. You know, it's your teachers and your, so yeah, it really is fun to be part of. Now, last part of my comment, I promise, in Jerry's presentation about, light laws and you know, we have to have this building, you know, looked at, and you know, the money is paid for by blah 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 blah. And next time you wonder why school districts don't get money, just listen to one of his reports, because that's why. It's sucked up at the top. I mean, this is a fairly new facility in the scheme of things, right? And to be forced to do that, and our tax dollars are going to all these consultants and these things that are grifting off of that, and they're actually stealing dollars away from our children's education. And I know that's a terrible thing to say, but it's true, you know. And just, I get that there's some good things about it, but you're forced to do that. And I just I'm kind of frustrated by that kind of stuff, you know. And then people say, oh, you know, we need more money in the education. Well, how about we take the money that we take from people and we actually put it towards education? Instead of consultants and directors, right? Anyway, that's my comment. I wish, but I can't just, make it happen, but it is a frustrating reality. And I don't know how you guys do it, how you guys put up with that, I mean, it just, anyway, you do a good job with what you have. I'll just say that.
So I'll finish up with. It's interesting how, as I sat back here and reflected, whether or not it's the temperature in this room on a 90+ degree day. Kurt would go back to the transitional time when you came in and Josie surprised us by leaving, and next thing you know, Nick's part of our team, Hannah's part of our leadership team. We go along and you decide to make changes in your personal life. Jerry was groomed by you, and he comes in to
That's not you.
pick up the roles, and then we go along and Tracy decided she's gonna retire. Andrea then picks up the reins, when Hannah finds a new opportunity, Cindy comes in now. Jennifer, you're part of our team now. It's interesting how through all of the change, we continuously have gotten better at what we do, at what you folks do. It's not me, I agree with you. Not me, it's what you folks. But it's really impressive when you stand back and look at the things that Brittany comes in and she fills a role at the time, and Sherry departs, and I mean, you find ways that businesses do, and this is a business, you go ahead and stay focused on our job at hand, and to your credit, Cindy, all of you here, doing a good job, pretty cool. It's pretty easy to, I'm frequently at parties and gatherings within the GC area community, and it always comes up, well, what's going on at the school? And so that's just it. It's changed, but it's good change. And then the only thing new is if the kids are getting a great education, we're getting a bang for the buck. Things are happening. What you guys are doing tomorrow, I'm anxious to hear the report out after this is all over with the done at the next. This kind of stuff is really cool. Those are my parting comments. Nice job in the archives, like I said, go back to the microfilm, give us the microfiche. I was like, hey, I don't know the words. Anyway, okay, Jerry, I'm gonna wrap up with you.
Yeah, so thank you all for your flexibility. We had to adjust our agenda in part because life happens and people aren't here, so and Cindy, she was ready. So I want to push back on you a little bit in this, that the culture of a facility and organizations come from the board, and if the board is dysfunctional and problematic and not supportive, that can flow through an organization. And so we are in the day-to-day grind, but you are in the board are an important part of establishing the culture and expectations. So you do have a part in the school being the good school it is. Thanks for that. So I don't have much else to say. Another good meeting, and get ready for school. I start again.
You're calling about a strong board. I can't imagine for you being in the Bremerton area there. What went on at a school district in Port Orchard. The adversarial stuff that I read about in the Bremerton side. I can't imagine being in the midst of that kind of chaos.
I was a superintendent for 37 years, and I worked for 142 board members. And out of 142, there was 4 that were just screwballs, but the rest of them were really great. But there was 4 that, not here, but 4 that were odd, but at least one.
At least one was here.
But this was my favorite school district I ever was in, all of them. This was E1.
Well, I would say that we are not always on the same page and we do disagree. But I do think that we disagree respectfully. right? And where we're not, you know, making it personal, right? It's just maybe different perspectives, and sometimes we change each other's minds, and I think it's a good thing to have different thoughts, right? Different perspectives. Otherwise, you can get into some trouble if you just agree all the time. So, anyway.
But tell you what we're gonna do here. Let's show 6:25, we just adjourned this thing, how's that fun? We got a whole bunch of signings to do tonight, Jerry. You changed our format, you gotta make me think through stuff.
Well, here we go, there they are. I will have an additional item on the agenda. I'm gonna ask Sherry to come to the meeting and have a little something for her.
By the way,
Yeah. How much?
People taking in